right, so we're going to do a reading right now for the equinox, the change of the seasons, and just see what sort of shifts this comes with. And this reading is at the request of Lars Kamenisu Spade, who had the good idea. He's full of good ideas, by the way. But this was the good idea to do a reading on the equinox just to see what the heck we got going on with this shift. So in the northern hemisphere, of course, we're going into fall. In the southern hemisphere, they're going into spring. But let's see what we got. Root card of the Ace of Pentacles. The main card is the reverse Two of Cups. Now, the Ace of Pentacles, this is the card that shows up for people who start their own business, but it's really about taking your universe of potential, like you see inside the pentacle, this like swirling galaxy. That is the universe of potential. The Ace of Pentacles is the master of turning that into actual things. So here, there's this potential, but it shows a disharmonious period in the reversed Two of Cups. So if you do have big ideas, this is initially saying that it might not be a good idea to bring them, it might not be a good time to bring them into the world. Now we'll take a look at why. If this is past, present, future, then in the past we have the Death card, and the Death card is some sort of reset. So here is the old method down here shown in her previous child that was born. She's pregnant, about to give birth to another child, and she's sort of clearing the space, sacrificing the old to make room for the new. When we look at this, especially if this has anything to do with businesses, this is some old system that is being wiped clean or has been wiped clean as a new system is about to be born. And it must be just this sort of period of transition. It's like neither the old one or the new one yet. And that causes this sort of disharmony in the timing, in being able to do it. So as it moves forward, then we have a Seven of Swords, and that's basically being forced to do things that you're not ready to do. It shows a lot of pressure to do things that are maybe ill-advised or dangerous, like here the jester fingers are crossed because they're winging it. They don't actually know what they're doing. And that is evident by the rope that is frayed. They are about to swallow that sword. So right away, this looks like maybe a bad time to start a new business. Now, I do want to look a little closer at this Death card because I kind of want to see what this big transition is. What is it talking about? And we get an Eight of Swords. So here's the Seven. Here we get the Eight. Now, the Eight is showing a person who is trapped in this tower. It's more about sort of a moment in time where they kind of want to get out, but they're just being very trapped. Again, this is temporary, just like this reverse Two of Cups. So when we look at the old system, I suppose, that is being wiped away would show some sort of system of confinement. I don't exactly know what this is talking about, but there's an old, very confined system. And apparently this has something to do with economics or business. And it's being wiped away. There's a new system that's being created here. And I'm going to pull another card to see after this transition is made, if then that changes this, because this looks like it could be problematic for a while. And we get a reverse Page of Cups. Boy, it's going to be rough for a little while, it looks like, because the reverse page of cups is showing someone who is emotionally out of sorts. Normally, they're very optimistic. And the reverse page of cups is the opposite of that, right? They're very pessimistic. So, what it would show here is coming out of this era of confinement that people would be so pessimistic that they wouldn't really see any opportunities that were in front of them. That's troubling. So, this looks really shitty, at least for starting new businesses. But it also does show some confining system of old business practice that is being wiped clean. Okay. Well, I'm going to collect these. Let's just look at this from a few different angles. I'll just look at this from like a personal sort of, spiritual, emotional sense. Like, what does this transition mean for the people, if anything at all? Oh, geez. I know you can focus on it. There we go. Ten of Swords. All right. And we also we got a bunch of cards that want to come out here. Okay. Personal sort of emotional stuff with this change, with the season change. So the main card is the Ten of Swords, and it's basically living with our bad decisions. The Ten of Swords shows something that we knew was fucked up, but we didn't necessarily want to deal with it, and then eventually it catches up to us here. Okay, now as that moves forward, we have the Emperor over the top of the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles is exile. It's showing financial ruin, but it's also showing like feeling very judged, right? But it would show exile from community and also financial trouble. Here, the Emperor sort of wants to be over the top of that. So that is just taking control of this. And what happens in the Five anyway. So this woman, she has no money, no clothes, no place to stay. And she could stay in this church if she wanted to. But it comes with all of this judgment and a bunch of bullshit that she doesn't want to deal with. So she's like, fuck them. I'm going to do this myself. And starting from literal zero, that is what the Emperor is doing here. It's like, fuck everyone else. I'm just going to take complete control over my situation, starting from zero, and go from there, But the Emperor is all about taking control over the situations in which we felt left out and exiled and judged and all of that. And then as that moves forward, the Four of Swords. So this is a period of isolation, separation, all of that. When this thing turns upside down, it just shows that we've had enough time to process things, and we're ready to like get back out into the world. So from dealing with things that we didn't want to deal with, they finally catch up to us. Then it's just controlling the situation, which has made us exiled and feeling very judged or financially ruined. And then as that moves forward, we eventually come to a place where we can mix with people again. So long term, this is good. The first step of it is a pretty shitty step, though. Okay. Now let's just look at world disasters. Let's see if this fall, so I guess I'm looking at a 3-month chunk. I should say fall/spring, but the next 3 months, let's just see if, we're going to get hit by a comet or anything like that. What do we got going on? Ooh, these are iffy. This one wants to come out. Oh, shit, it's the Tower. Okay. All right. Well, this would show some sort of a disaster. Now let's just see what kind of disaster it is. Where does this energy come from, right? This is a financial disaster. Okay, well, this might feed into what the other cards were talking about because the other card showed some sort of um, restrictive thing. It was a person in a tower here in the Eight of Swords. So here we have the tower, right? And the tower gets fucking blown up. Um, what causes the tower to get blown up? And the reversed Nine of Pentacles is showing basically not having any money. It's people not having the money to do the things they want to do. Um, there's no upward mobility or mobility at all, I guess. But normally the Nine of Pentacles is the energy of a shopping trip, having the money to do what you want to do, and all of the pluses that come with that. And here we have the fucking lack of any of that power or security. So this is a financial disaster. Now, I'll just pull a card to see if this is a country, if this is like fucking global. Like, let's just look at the magnitude of this. And we get the Eight of Pentacles. Aha. So the Eight of Pentacles is the craftsman, right? So this might be some sort of wave that comes off of the labor strikes because this is a worker, right? This is someone and their job is to crank out these pentacles and they're just cranking them out all day. Looking at this, this would affect laborers and it could be the strike, right? Or the strikes because there's a bunch of them happening. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. And this also implies that it could be a big disruption in manufacturing. So there might be less things that are actually being made, which could also, disrupt everything else. So it looks like we have some economic and financial fucking disaster and disruption that are coming up in the next 3 months. So that'll be fun. All right. I would like to know what you think about this. If you have any questions about it, let me know. If you do want to request a topic for a reading, hit up my Patreon page and I take requests from there. That's what we have for now, and peace.